Hey, it's Curtis Stone, and I'm feeling so festive that I've got my pumpkin ready to make you the best pumpkin pie that you've ever eaten. Now, Thanksgiving, it's that amazing time of year when it's friends and family, and to me, the most important thing when you go to someone's house is that you have this incredible smell when you walk into their home. And if you could be standing in here right now, you would smell this incredible smell, and it's because I'm roasting my own pumpkins. So to make the pumpkin pie, it's important for me that you make your own filling because it shows that you really went to some effort, and it's so different to the stuff you buy from the store. Here's how you do it. You get yourself a pumpkin. You treat it just like you do a melon. Grab a big sharp knife and you want to basically cut a piece off the bottom and a piece off the top. So, once you've got a nice flat surface and your pumpkin's going to sit up and play ball, what you do is you get a nice sharp knife and you're just going to let the sharpness of the knife do the work, okay? So make sure you keep sawing. If you keep sawing, the blade will do all the work for you. So, once you've got your nice clean pumpkin, what you do next is take your knife and just drop it down, and then you just turn it. So when you turn, it's going to cut right through it. What you do is you get a big spoon and you're just going to scoop those seeds out. The next step is we want to cut this up into little pieces. So I'm just going to cut it in half first, and then half again. And then you can just go through and chop it up into little sort of manageable pieces. And scoop your pumpkin straight onto a cookie sheet or a roasting tray, some kind of baking tray like this. Get yourself a little bit of olive oil. Not too much. Some people decide to bake it dry, but I like that little bit of oil just to help it cook. And then I've got some spices. Now I've got some cinnamon, some ginger, and some nutmeg. So what you want to do is just sprinkle that all over your pumpkin. Okay, ready to go. So you pick up the tray, you pop it into the oven for about an hour, and it cooks at 350 degrees. And look at that. These ones have been in for an hour, so you can see they've just started to catch a little bit of colour, which is absolutely fine, but they should be really nice and soft and just break up when you push them. Perfect. Right, so what you do next is you get yourself a food processor and a scoop, and you're just going to pick up that pumpkin while it's still nice and warm. It doesn't have to be red hot. You can let it cool down a little bit so it's cool enough to handle. However, you do still want it to be warm because it'll be easier to blend up in the food processor when it's warm. So while that's blending, you get yourself some cream and pour it in. And when that's nicely pureed, what you do is you just take that straight out, and we're going to take our puree out and into a bowl. So we're going to let that chill out for just a moment, which is fine because we've got another job to do. What we're going to do here is crack some eggs. So I'm going to put 3 eggs with a little bit of brown sugar and a little pinch of salt. I'm going to whisk it and just incorporate just a little bit of air. You don't want to go too crazy, so just whisk it for about 60 seconds or so. Once you've given it a little whisk and that you're sure that your pumpkin's not too warm, that's feeling good, it's cooled right down, then pour in your eggs straight over the top. Next, take your whisk and just give this a whisk, and you're going to make sure that the eggs are incorporated to the pumpkin. Look at that, yum. And then pick up your pie dish. Now I've got my pie dish and I've lined it with my pie crust. If you want to learn all about that, go to my GMC Trade Secret on pie crusts, which will teach you exactly how to make it. And then what you do is you just pour your mix straight into the bottom of your pie crust there. You want to make sure it's nice and even. So what I do is just pick it up and drop it. And it's just going to flatten it out. What we do next is we take our pie, we put it in the oven 350 degrees for about an hour. I'm going to pop it on the bottom tray, and then you're going to see the results. Yum. Okay, so time for our pumpkin pie. Oh yeah, look at that. Oh, it smells so delicious. Now, what I'm going to do is show you how to make a really nice, simple topping. I've just got a little saucepan here. I'm going to put my sugar in, And we're going to let that dissolve and turn into a caramel. Once the sugar goes in, it's going to start turning into a liquid. You can see it around there, and you'll notice I'm hardly touching it. Once it starts to get a little bit dark around the outsides, that's when you need to move it, okay, because you don't want it to burn in one spot. And then I'm just going to throw my walnuts straight in like that and give those guys a shake around. And once you've got them fully coated, all that you need to do is pour them straight out onto a piece of wax paper or parchment paper. Okay, so once your walnuts are just in a single layer in the caramel, let it cool down. It's going to take a few minutes, then we're going to break that up and it's going to be a really nice garnish. Oh, look at that. Yumbo. Okay, so you put your pie on the plate, get yourself a nice dollop of cream, just like that. And then you come back over to your walnuts and just peel the paper straight off the back like that, and you can just break this caramel up and so you get beautiful chunks of those walnuts. And I'm just going to put a couple of those straight on top for the garnish. Look at that, so simple, but I reckon so delicious. I'm Curtis Stone, and that is my pumpkin pie.